Okay, going home. During our morning announcements, we have this segment called Useless Tidbits of Information. During the segment, I mentioned things that happened on that date, stuff that you don't really need to know, but it's kind of interesting. I was recently telling a friend that one of the tidbits that I use once a year is the fact that if it wouldn't have been for Ripley's Believe It or Not, we might not have a national anthem. And he asked me to explain. So I told him that in 1929, Ripley's Believe It or Not published a little cartoon saying that the United States is the only country without an official national anthem. And when he published that, people were outraged and they were writing to Congress to look into it if this was true or not. That's why it's called Believe It or Not. And so it was found out that yes, in fact, the United States did not have an official national anthem. People assumed that the Star Spangled Banner was our national anthem, but in fact, it was not. Even though the Navy and other organizations had been using it for a while, many people used other songs when saluting the flag. Many people used Hail Columbia, others used America. So when Congress found out that the Star Spangled Banner was not the national anthem, it was finally signed as the official national anthem in 1931 by Herbert Hoover. You know, it's funny that considering how controversial some of the performances of the Star Spangled Banner have been over the years, you might recall Jimi Hendrix's rendition or Jose Feliciano's rendition. By the way, as radical as Jimi Hendrix's rendition of it was, Jose Feliciano's rendition of the national anthem actually got more protests. Of course, there was Igor Stravinsky's version of the Star Spangled Banner, in which he actually got fined because it was performed in Massachusetts, and Massachusetts had a law about changing the national anthem, and he had added some very modern chords to it. Funny how some things we take for granted that they have always been the way we know them, like the Star Spangled Banner or the Pledge of Allegiance. Many people don't know that the Pledge of Allegiance was written in 1892 by a retired minister, Francis Bellamy, and he sent it as a little poem to a popular magazine. I believe that the magazine was called Youth's Companion. And so when it was published, many schools started to use it daily when saluting the flag. Of course, when it was written, it wasn't anything like we know today. It wasn't until 1923 that the part of the United States of America was added, because before it was just a pledge allegiance to the flag. Then in 1954, President Eisenhower added the part of Under God. By the way, the daughter of Reverend Bellamy was very opposed to them adding that part because she said that her father would not agree to have that as part of the pledge. Another interesting part about the pledge is that when Francis Bellamy wrote it, he had hand motions to it. It would start off with a military salute, and when the flag was mentioned, you were supposed to extend your arm towards the flag. During World War II, however, that salute resembled a little bit too much the Nazi salute, and so it was changed to only holding your hand over your heart. So there's a brief history of the Star Spangled Banner and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars